You should never compare your mixes to an industry standard master.
You know you got me, girl. I like the way that you move, the way you shake your body, girl. I got a whole lot of plans for you.
Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in to Ericson Presents Mixing Tutorials. This is the second mixing tutorial, mixing music. If you've been doing this for a while and say for instance, you're not a beginner, but you've been mixing for, 2-3 years, but your mixes just aren't where you want them to be. And you can't figure out why. You've watched tons of tutorials on mixing vocals, EQing kicks, and you can't figure out like why when they do it, it sounds a certain way, but when you do your music, it doesn't sound that way. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my personal theory on it because I do have a theory on this. For engineers who are working in $1 million studios or $150,000 studios, in major studios, professional studios, they have equipment that makes their life a whole lot easier than yours. There's compressors, hardware compressors that you can turn a few knobs and the vocal sounds amazing. The microphones that they're using, as soon as the vocal goes through the mic, it already sounds amazing. It's almost like it sounds mixed almost already. Like this is the type of stuff that they're getting or they're mixing, and then when the music already sounds good before they start putting their touches on it, it only sounds better. 9 times out of 10, what you're working on and what the average person is working on, and what I started out working on, yeah, that wasn't that wasn't happening. And if you're like me, you never had the opportunity to go inside of a major studio to sit behind the desk of a major engineer or a professional engineer and watch what they do and watch how they mix and listen to what they're listening for. And it can get discouraging because we'll get in that rat race of we'll try to mix a song and then we'll go and listen to our favorite whatever. And when we listen to that, it just sounds so much bigger, brighter, solid, wider. Everything's just better. And I feel that, I always have theories, right? I feel that you should never, as a starting engineer or a starting mixer, you should never compare your mixes to an industry standard master. Like, listen to what I said. You should never compare your mixes to an industry standard master. The audio or the song that you're hearing right now is not, well, majority of the time, it's not the way the mix engineer finished off the record, because it went to the mastering engineer, and then the mastering engineer could have done things like they could have brightened it up. They could have cut out some more lows out the bass to make it sound a little more solid. They could have, compressed it a little more to make make it sound a little more glued together. There are so many different things that the mastering engineer can do to the mix that it is not fair for people who are starting out to compare their mixes to the master. Okay? Are you following me? But guess what? There's only one reason why I'm telling you this, because I have a solution for you. So, there are sessions where the mix engineer will bounce out the stems with the effects on it. I have one for you. And the reason why I want you to have this is because I want you to listen to the way the mix sound before the master. And I also want you to be able to hear what the vocals sound like, or what they should sound like inside of your room. See, it's hard to mix your vocal to make it sound good if you don't even know what good is supposed to sound like in your room.
Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy.
I love this song. New rules, I love it. So let's go into the DAW. So this is pretty much what you're going to get. They're going to be a bunch of stems tracked out. They're probably going to be a little hot when you get them, so you need to turn them down. I turned mine down to -5.7. You can do that too. You can turn down to whatever. Just make sure your master fader isn't peaking when you're listening to this. That way you can really hear the dynamics and hear the comparison. And remember that plugin I told you about in the last one? Let's pull that up. So, say for instance, you hear or you see this kick. Let's see where the kick is hitting. So it got to like negative 42.4. All right, well, let's see where the snare is hitting. The first snare, because there's two snares. That snare is about, what, 12 dBs higher than the kick? So this is good information to know, because if you can see how much higher or how much louder that kick is, that snare is compared to that kick, then you might understand that, you know what, maybe it is possible that I can push my snares a little louder than my kick and it still work. Okay, so the point of why I showed you this plugin before, because how I use the perceived loudness, you can go through every single sound and see where see where the metering is on the perceived loudness are compared to the other signals, and learn like the numbers. Like seriously, like if you need to mix with your eyes, this is the best way to learn how to do it. So learn these numbers so you can understand the correlation between it. And trust me, it's going to start making sense, because eventually you're going to start doing your own stuff and you're going to say, okay, well, the kick is this level. All right, you know what? It's okay if I push it this loud. Does it still sound good? Okay, it still sounds good. Let's keep going. That's confidence. I'm giving you confidence. Say it with me. Okay, you probably ain't going to say it with me, but say it with me. Confidence. Okay. When you make a decision, when you're mixing, and if you make a decision with confidence, oh my God, like that's the best feeling ever. You're like, I know it's right. I know it's right because I know it's right. It was right in that song, and that song was tight. I know it's right. Let's keep it moving. So if you look at, let's see, this song had a drum loop in it. Look at where the drum loop was. So compared to the kick, so what that drum loop was, what, 7 dB higher? Okay, so the point of what I'm trying to give this to you for is for you to seriously analyze it and understand the sound of the way music should sound inside of your room. I'm not going to charge you, but I am going to ask you to subscribe to my newsletter. So go ahead and click the link in the description, and it will take you to a page where you can put your email in. And once you put that information in, what's going to end up happening? It's something simple. An email is going to get sent to you, and it's going to have this file in it. You can download it, drag it into your session, and analyze it the best way you know how. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to continuously send you sessions just like this. But the only way you're going to get these extra sessions is if you sign up for the newsletter. So please do that. Help me help you. Hopefully your mixes will grow overnight. Like, this is great. Like when I started doing this, when I started analyzing these sessions, like I learned a lot. Put it this way, when I go to the car now, after I mix my music, I don't necessarily have to go back and make tweaks. Like, would that be the best feeling ever, for you to go from your computer to your car and listen to the music and it actually sound the way you thought it was supposed to sound? Like, oh my God, where do they do that at? All right, so yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button. Hit the thumbs up button. If you find this information helpful, hit the thumbs up. Share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one.
Home tomorrow. You know you got me, girl. Tomorrow, girl. I like the way that you move, the way you shake your